Hi, I'm Nancy Corder. I was in the HIS co-op for many, many years, right from the start. Within a couple of months, they started in September and our family joined in December. So we saw it go through a lot of changes. So I learned a lot. I made every mistake a person could possibly make as a teacher. So I'm here to just kind of go through some of the things I learned and some of the things that worked. The first three things I want to talk about don't have that much to do with teaching, but more of a philosophy. The first one is when you give a presentation, try to involve as many of the five senses as you can, touch, taste, sight, hearing, and smell, because those are the things that if you can touch those, you have a human connection. Because we hear things as humans, we taste things, we touch things, we feel things. That's what you want to connect with. If you leave your subject as that, you've not done your job. You make it human, because that's what history and science are. It's a story of humans. Okay, so that's point one. Point two, when you're doing your research, let yourself fall into your subject. I'll give you an example. I was completely ignorant about history when I started co-op, and I had to teach World War I. I didn't know a thing about it except the name, World War I. Then I started reading about it. If I cry, just ignore me. I'm just that kind of a person. To this day, that subject haunts me. It broke my heart. It was such a futile, awful, ugly thing. You know what? That's okay. I feel for those men and women who were involved in that in those countries. Some of these subjects can break your heart. That's okay. That's okay. You will grow as a person because of that. But most of them are just fun and interesting and fascinating. Let yourself fall in love with this stuff. Find those people, become their friends, and become their advocates. If you're teaching history, you're teaching somebody who's no longer here, and if you don't bring it up, if you don't tell their story, it's gone. Do them that service. You owe it to them. They're counting on you. All right, and three, when you do a subject, please, at the end, the taste in the mouth for the kids and for yourself and for your other moms who were there should be hope. If you're dealing with a kind of a dark subject like a war, okay, they have to know the facts, but always leave something hopeful. Never leave your children in despair. Never leave your children in a black hole or hopeless. No, no, no. You find that person in that story. You go hunting. You hunt for that hero. You hunt for the martyr. You hunt for instance, in World War II, when England was being blown to bits by Germany, the Blitzkrieg, you find that ordinary person who every day just got up and slogged through for years in the worst possible circumstance, perseverance. Whatever is true, whatever is good, whatever is beautiful. That's what you leave them with, because your kids need it. This world is not giving it to them. You do it. You tell these stories and leave them hopeful. All right. How do you make your presentations memorable? Okay. Now I'm just going to give some examples of things over the years. Okay. The five senses. Sight, obviously, is the easiest one. And you can use anything and everything for this. Posters. Make a poster on a certain subject. Have maybe 5 different things or 4 different things that you want them to remember, to emphasize it. If you're standing up there giving a presentation and it is only you, that ain't enough. I don't care if you're the most gorgeous person in the world. You need something else. Here's what happens. If it's just you, they see you every day. Or you might even, your kid going, Mom, please, why would I listen to you? If you have something for them to focus on, you automatically have raised their level of at least focus by 50%, because they have something else to stare at, something else to look at. Okay? Always have something It can be simple. I've used posters, and I can't draw a thing. So low-tech posters, a picture, a photograph, a map. I absolutely love maps, especially when you're working with the younger kids. Always start, sorry about that, always start and say with the youngers, where are we now? Make them find Washington, make them find Seattle, and then go, well, today we're going here, and then take them to Europe or Africa or Greece or wherever it is you're going. They get a sense of, I'm here, and look how far I had to go to get to where this story takes place. That's important. Not the least because we don't know geography that well. So to give them a sense of what the world is and distances right from the very start, right from the youngest kid, I think is really, really important. So get some maps. I have one that's blank. It just has the outlines, no countries labeled in it. I love that one, because then they can, go ahead and label the countries as well. Anyway, something besides you to look at. Maps, posters, dolls. If you're talking about a person, get a G.I. Joe and make him Sam Adams. I don't know, put a wig on him or something. But anything you have hanging around your house, go to the Goodwill. Look in your toy box. Don't spend a lot of money. Because to a kid, if it's a doll and you say it's whoever, John Adams, George Washington, then it is. Big deal. There again, and if, let's say it's George Washington and he's getting into the boat to cross the Potomac, all you have is the doll, that's enough. You put him in the boat. Say, you have to imagine the boat. You have to imagine the Delaware with the waves, and it's wintertime. It was Christmas Eve, I think. And here he goes to sneak up on the British. I guarantee you, if it's something besides you, they will follow you more. All right. Legos. You can build so many different things with Legos. Forts, buildings, anything. Or dress up. When we studied the 1920s, I went to the Goodwill and found a dress that looked like a flapper dress, the straight thing with the lowered waist. I wore that and fake pearls. Anything. Another time, I dressed up like not Dale Carnegie, what was his name? Anyway, Carnegie, the rich guy, his wife. So I found the fanciest dress-up thing I could have, stuck a tiara on my head. So you think, oh, that's kind of silly. No, it isn't. What is that telling them? Carnegie's wife was rich in a time when a lot of other people were not. Just by what you wear, you are modeling, you're showing, you're visualizing. This is the era we're talking about. These guys had money. Okay. If you're in ancient Greece, wear a toga. Get out your sheet and wrap it around you with a belt. You're good to go. Don't ever worry about low-tech. Low-tech is your friend. Low-tech is good. It makes the kids smile. All right. Touch, taste. I was teaching a little kid about John Hancock and Sam Adams. Love these guys. American Revolution. Boston. John Hancock was rich. John Hancock wore satin, made, lavender satin with the frills and the perfume and the wig and the buckled shoes. His friend, Sam Adams, was a complete, total contrast to him. Homespun things. Looked like a best thing I'd heard about him as far as a description was Sam Adams looked like an unmade bed. Picture that compared to John Hancock. But those two men in Boston, if it hadn't been for them starting the Sons of Liberty, committees of correspondence, getting the revolution organized, who knows what would have happened. Two contrasting people. So get a piece of satin, get a piece of lavender satin, throw a little perfume on it, and get a piece of muslin and crumple it up in your hand so it looks like a sheet that's been slept in for 6 weeks. And show them. They'll never forget. They'll never forget these two completely opposite men working together toward this common cause of the American Revolution in Boston. Then show them the Declaration of Independence. You guys know this story. John Hancock flourished big, and he was saying, I want to be the first to sign, and I want the king to be able to see it without his glasses. So it's this fancy, it was him all over, big and kind of egotistical and stuff. Find Sam Adams' signature on there. Small, unassuming. Sam Adams was never really a success at much. didn't have any money, and look what those two disparate powerhouses did to get the American Revolution started, really.